Hey, greetings everybody. John Cassani here at Calusa Waterkeeper, bringing you our periodic update of conditions and situations going on in the region with our waterways. I think everybody's been pretty much aware of how hot it's been lately. We're actually seeing some much above normal temperatures, water temperatures in the back bays and some of the areas with less water exchange. What that means is when we see water temperatures in the mid to high 90s, which is fairly unusual, it creates some very stressful conditions for fish, shellfish, other types of biota in the water. It also means that less oxygen can actually dissolve in the water. So almost all of those aquatic animals need a certain level of oxygen to survive. We're seeing conditions like in Matlacha Pass where every morning we're seeing typically fish and eels up near the surface trying to respirate. So those are stressful conditions that we hope won't persist, but we'll keep you up to date as we see things happening. As far as the Lake Okeechobee bloom that we've been reporting on, it's still there. It's a microcystis bloom, a type of cyanobacteria. And the good news is it looks like the latest satellite imagery has it a little less spatial extent and perhaps a little less intense in terms of cell density. So let's hope it continues to trend in that situation where it begins to diminish through time. Still some toxin data coming back. We do appreciate the South Florida Water Management District and the FDEP for doing additional testing, identifying what species of cyanobacteria and whether or not there are toxins there. It's important that that information be made public. On the Calusa River, we are seeing some small periodic blooms like we've been reporting over time. These are mostly microcystis blooms, nothing really significant to report at this time. But we have had one report of what looks like macroalgae floating in on the tide, pretty significant amount. Recently, the Suncoast Waterkeeper is reporting Lingbia bloom in the Sarasota area. Fairly extensive bloom. This is in the Gulf of Mexico, the nearshore areas. So we hope we're not going to see something like that happening here. We're hoping that's not trichodesmium coming in from the Gulf all the way up into the river near Fort Myers. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. We're still seeing some trichodesmium well offshore. We'll show you some satellite imagery here. This was from July 7th. Still a very large bloom, probably in the 200 to 300 square mile area. And again, that's trichodesmium, or what we call sea sawdust. It is a type of marine cyanobacteria. Sometimes it leads to a red tide event because when the trichodesmium bloom crashes, it puts additional nitrogen in the water that Carenia, or the red tide organism, likes, necessary to bloom. The back bays, again, conditions are poor for water quality. Shellfish harvesting is still closed. And again, we continue to see what we call this hypoxic condition in Matlacha Pass. The dissolved oxygen is so low that we're seeing fish and crabs and shellfish exhibiting symptoms of trying to get near the surface, particularly at dawn or near dawn in the morning when oxygen's lowest naturally in the waterways. And that's pretty much it for this time. Appreciate your tuning in. Again, hope you're doing okay. And again, please feel free to share whatever you're seeing out there with us. You can do that through our website or you can just give me a call on our hotline. Thanks for tuning in.